Today on Larry King Now, Drew and Alex from the electronic and pop DJ duo, the Chainsmokers. When is an album coming?
We'd like to, but right now we're releasing song by song. It's doing really well for us. You know, we're a relatively new artist, and you know, we've really benefited from everyone that knows about us focusing on one song at a time. And I think that's why our last two records have been, you know, top 10 records on iTunes.
A few weeks ago, you knocked Donald Trump publicly, right?
Yeah.
What prompted that?
I mean, everything, really.
Plus, how'd you pick that name?
Truth. Smoked a lot of weed at one point in my career.
Chain smoke weed?
Yeah, well, like cigarettes, weed, whatever. It wasn't like, you know, I guess the same way you like wouldn't expect something to stick so hard, and then you kind of find yourself on Larry King.
So all next on Larry King Now. In the last several years, the electronic music genre has exploded into a $6 billion business, making it one of the fastest growing genres in music. And Andrew Taggart and Alex Paul of the American DJ and producer duo known as the Chainsmokers are one of the most exciting up-and-coming acts in electronic and pop music today. Their music has been listened to hundreds of millions of times over by fans from around the world. Their new single is Don't Let Me Down, and they join us today on Larry King Now, fresh off their debut performances at the Coachella Music and Arts Festival. What was that like, Drew?
It was exciting. It was like a huge honor. I think it's like the most, you know, from an artist perspective, that's the festival that you want to play. It's one of the only festivals in the United States that can kind of validate, you know, any kind of success that you're having.
How do you get Alex to play it?
That wasn't an easy process. Obviously, like everyone wants to play, like Drew said. So I think that as, you know, a brand and musicians, we kept improving ourselves, and Paul T, who books the festival, and Golden Voice, you know, were kind enough to invite us, and I think that, you know, there was a lot of work went into it. Our agent put months and months of work in convincing, and I think everyone ended up really happy, though. So.
You have to be invited?
Yeah, I mean, like any festival, it's booked. I mean, it's booked by a committee of people, but this festival especially is like every artist wants to play it. And you want to play it the right way, at the right time, on the right stage. So it's a very, because it can be a moment that really makes the rest of your year a couple of years.
How long do you get to perform?
50 minutes. That was hard, because usually most festivals you get an hour and a half. So this you got to pack in 50 minutes of like your music that you think people want to hear, and also like the surprises that make Coachella so exciting.
What time of day?
We played at 8:30. It was perfect.
PM?
Yeah.
Perfect. That's prime time.
Yeah. Because it's before, like, everyone gets super tired or, you know, they drink too much. So it's like they're prime. They're ready to rage.
Were you nervous?
Not really. I feel like we get, like, a lot of work goes into it, so you're kind of just like, let's just do this, see how it goes. We, like, do this every day, you know? So those are the moments where it's, like, fun, and you actually get to, like, showcase all the work that you put in throughout the year. So not nervous. It's more, yeah, more just exciting.
Yeah. Were you guys attending festivals in the past?
Absolutely. I was attending this festival. I actually said that on stage. It was like, it's crazy. Like 3 years ago, I was in the audience at Coachella, like dreaming someday, you know, maybe I'll get to be up there. And to be able to do that in such a big way, we had a highly talked about set this year. It's a pretty amazing feeling.
So let's break it down for me. What is your music? What did you do?
I was more of a DJ, and Drew came from a producer background. And obviously, like, we didn't know each other at all. It was very much like, you guys meet, see if you hit it off, see if you share the same vision. And the next day, he moved down to New York. I quit my job, and we, like, went full steam ahead.
Yeah, we've been doing it, like, every day, just grinding, trying to get better. And
This is platonic?
Yeah. We've never been asked that like that.
Today you got asked that.
Yeah.
That's the modern thing of today. Yeah. How did the guys think that you two would...
How did you do great on Facebook?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
How did they think you two would work together? Most DJs are single acts, right?
DJing is traditionally mixing music together in a club. Now it's producing, well, first of all, there's this new type of dance music, and the people that are the biggest people in that scene are the ones that have made songs that all the other DJs have played. So it's now become more of just mixing other people's records to putting out music that, you know, now it's like not only stuff that all the other DJs play, but it's, you know, we have the number 5 song on iTunes right now. So
Do you write the songs?
Yes. Write, produce, and in the case of our new song, I'm singing on it as well.
So you're not DJs anymore, or are you?
It's definitely taking on more of like a performance aspect, and like we performed on Jimmy Fallon and James Corden, and those were like live shows. So we like rehearsed the live version of the song, which we don't like get to perform at Coachella. I'm sure we could if we really want to, but it would eat up a lot of time. But we're definitely mixing it up. You know, I think that term DJ is like kind of limiting now.
Term, yeah.
But you know, it conveys the point.
But DJs make a lot of money, don't they? DJs that like in Vegas.
Some do, yeah, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
but there's not, you know, there's a lot more that don't. That's for sure. Yeah.
Now you had a double platinum hit single, Roses. Your current single is Don't Let Me Down. You wrote both of those songs, right? Mm-hmm. You sing them?
We don't sing. I sing backing vocals on Roses, and both songs were written with, well, Roses was written with the featured performer Roses, and Don't Let Me Down was written with our friends Scott Harris and Emily Warren. I went to Syracuse and learned how to produce music, which means essentially if you listen to our songs, I played every instrument, or Alex has played every instrument on that record, which is pretty cool.
What was your break? What turned it around for you?
When we started, we're having success kind of on the indie side of things with our remixes. That's where we started. And then we had that song Selfie, which was like very much a novelty record, but a world, you know.
About selfies?
Yeah.
No, well,
kind of. The world took it that way.
Yeah.
We meant it to be about kind of like the bizarre girls that we see in the club. And we wrote this song about a tangent that one girl was going on about this guy that she wants to sleep with.
It's very like tongue-in-cheek, and you know, it was like a crazy big song, and I don't think we were ready artistically for all the success we had from it. And then, but it brought us to like a new level, and we like worked really hard to overcome that song, and that's when Roses came in, and that's kind of been like the turning corner for us.
We're talking with the Chainsmokers. Can we expect a debut album from them anytime soon? We'll get their opinions on music sharing sites. Don't click away. We're back with Drew Taggart and Alex Paul. They are the Chainsmokers. How'd you pick that name?
Truth. Smoked a lot of weed at one point in my career.
Chain smoke weed?
Yeah, well, like cigarettes, weed, whatever. It wasn't like you know, I guess the same way you like wouldn't expect something to stick so hard, and then you kind of find yourself on Larry King getting asked the question. But it works, and we had all the domains, and people like it, and it's catchy. It's memorable, you know what I mean?
Did you like the name too?
Yeah, well, I didn't have a choice.
What do you mean?
Well, I kind of joined his group.
Oh, your group was
He was the Chainsmokers, and then I became part of the Chainsmokers.
I feel like if I had the opportunity to change the name and nothing changed, I don't know what I would change it to, but I feel like we might. But I don't know if we missed out on any opportunities either.
know.
So
Are you affected by music streaming sites like Pandora and Spotify and?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a new outlet for people to consume music without having to, you know, buy each single, but I think it's a positive thing.
A few weeks ago, you knocked Donald Trump publicly, right?
Yeah.
What prompted that?
I mean, everything really. I mean, we just don't believe in all of his policies and
Or lack thereof.
or lack thereof. Yeah, and we had the opportunity to voice our opinions in front of, I don't know, a couple million people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Who are you supporting?
I don't know yet.
yeah, I mean, if it came down to it, I'd probably vote for Hillary, but I'm definitely an independent when it comes to.
One other thing. Would you want to work Coachella a lot?
Would I want to play the festival?
Yeah, every year?
I think you need to, it wouldn't be as special if you did it every year, but I think that's definitely a festival when you're having a big year. That's one where it's a moment. You could debut something, and it's the culmination of your success of that period of time.
Next, help me. How many different stages are there?
5 or 6, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 6. Yeah.
And how many people did you perform for? Do you know?
We're getting the final number, but I'd say anywhere from like 25 to 30,000 probably at our stage.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of enclosed, so you can only really fit so many. And then at a certain point, like you can't even see us if you're outside it. So it was pretty awesome, though.
Is your fan base very young?
Honestly, The majority of the kids that come to our show are probably from 16 to 26.
How would you describe your music? In what genre is your music?
It's somewhere between pop music, dance music, and it's somewhere between there.
It's gratifying, though. You always use that word.
It's very gratifying. Yeah.
Gratifying.
Yeah.
You said new dance music. What, is these a different kind of dances?
Yeah, I mean, traditionally dance music comes from like the house music world, and our music doesn't really resemble that, but it's the sounds that came out of that genre influence the sounds that we put into our music, so.
And you play with a lot of other artists a lot, right?
Yeah, I mean, we do tours with other artists, and obviously at festivals we played, like Coachella, we played with 180 other artists, so.
Crazy.
How are you handling all this?
It's kind of a whirlwind, and success happens so gradually, and at least it has in our case, that like you don't really like realize some of the things until you stop and look like back at what you're doing a year ago.
Are you going to tour?
Definitely. I mean, we just finished tour in the fall. This summer, we're going to Europe a ton of times, Asia, and then hopefully next year, depending on some things that we hopefully happen, we'd love to do like a really big tour again.
And you play music when you tour too?
Yeah, I mean, that's the tour that we want to do something bigger. You know, the last tour we did was like a DJ show with a really eccentric performance and visual element, and we'd like to obviously continue the visual element, but work more of the live music performance.
Going to have your own album? When is an album coming?
We'd like to, but right now we're releasing song by song. It's doing really well for us. You know, we're a relatively new artist, and you know, we've really benefited from everyone that knows about us focusing on one song at a time. And I think that's why our last two records have been, you know, top 10 records on iTunes.
Guys, explain your process, how you produce a hip-hop or electronic song. How do you do it? What's the...
Well, what we have found is, you know, cultivating your creativity is one of the hardest things to do as an artist. And when you have an idea, you have to write it down. And if it's good enough, you have to build off of it as quickly as possible before you lose that momentum. So whenever we have an idea for a song lyric or a chord progression or whatever, we'll grab a guitar, a piano, whatever, write down the lyric, sing the lyric, and every great song that we've written has just progressed naturally from that.
One of our producers was at Coachella. They said it was insane. What was it like for you?
It was.
Stage.
It's a great moment because I mean, all of our friends and family were there. I feel like a lot of festivals we play, it's not the case. It's like they're huge crowds, but you don't have an opportunity to play in front of people that are really close to you. And I feel like that's the show-off festival kind of. Because I don't know if you've ever had an event where everyone calls you and wants to go to it. This is like that event for us. So.
What's the Sahara tent?
It's well, traditionally it's the dance music tent, but this year they've expanded on that. But it's always known as being like a super high energy tent. You know, all the acts that play there are super. It's like an intense scene.
You start off right intense right away?
Yeah, it's very intense.
David Guetta and Cascade said that Coachella is the best music festival in the world.
I think that's because of the people that go to it, and its reputation and like the effort that all the artists put in to make their set stand out.
You brought some special guests with you, right?
Yeah.
You had what? Third Eye Blind, Walk the Moon, G-Eazy.
Yeah. You met G, right?
How do you get them? Yeah, I interviewed all of them. How did you get to work with them?
I think the best story is Third Eye Blind. We were actually drinking in some throwback 90s bar in Baltimore on Friday before our Sunday performance. And he had the idea, or Semi-Charmed Kind of Life, their big song came on the radio. And you hit up your friend whose brother was the bassist for the band and said, come out at Coachella. And by Sunday, they were like, we're going to do this, and flew out Sunday, and kind of all happened so quickly, and it was so spontaneous.
It's all happened. This has been how many years you're together?
3.5 now?
Yeah, 3.5.
Yeah. Crazy.
Pretty fast, huh?
Yeah, pretty fast. I mean, it feels like we've worked really hard. I mean, we've probably played like over 1,000 shows together since we started, but it's definitely like, I mean, we know how lucky we are.
Coming up, who do the guys dream of collaborating with? What has been their strangest fan encounter? We'll play a little game of If You Only Knew. Don't go away.
Can't wait.
We're back with the guys from the Chainsmokers. The new single, Don't Let Me Down. We play a little game of If You Only Knew, right? I'll just throw a question out. Who was the first girl you ever kissed?
Rebecca Caddy.
Rebecca Caddy, and where was that?
It was a Truth or Dare or Spin the Bottle in actually Chevy Chase's house, of all places.
Really?
Chevy
Yeah.
Chase's house?
Yeah.
What were you doing at Chevy Chase?
I was good friends with his daughter. She was my year.
In what city?
Bedford, New York.
Bedford, New York.
Yeah.
You ever know what happened to Rebecca?
She's married with a kid now, and probably get a text being like,
And who was your first?
"What the hell?"
Who was your first kiss, Drew?
I think Molly and King.
Molly?
Yeah.
Where was that?
I think in a car on Halloween
What city?
in my hometown, Freeport, Maine.
Freeport, Maine.
Yeah.
You know whatever happened to her?
I'm still friends with her, actually. Yeah, she lives
Really?
in New York. Yeah, she's actually became like one of my really good friends, lifelong. Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Teleporting.
Teleporting. You?
Same thing. I hate airports. If we could just teleport to all the gigs.
Yeah, I hate airports too. I'd like to be invisible. Your dream collaboration, who would you like to work with?
Blink 182.
Who?
Blink 182.
Shaka Khan.
Favorite city to perform in?
Los Angeles.
New York City.
Craziest or strangest fan encounter?
This is gonna take a second to explain, but at a show in Italy, this girl was staring at both of us performing, and she just pulls out a hair buzzer and starts shaving her hair, like long hair, and like mixing it around on the stage because it was like kind of a small crowd. And then like when you think it couldn't get any weirder, she starts eating the hair, and she disappeared before we could get any answers.
Oh my gosh. That has to be your strangest too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that covers you both. Ate her hair. Oh, those Kardashians get around. Pet peeve. What bugs you?
When people are walking in front of you and they just stop and they throw a pick, and then you have to like out of the way.
Wet socks.
What?
Damn.
Celebrity crush.
Oh, there's so many. Cara Delevingne.
I would say Martha Hunt.
Guilty pleasure.
I don't feel guilty about any of my pleasures.
Good line.
Yeah, that is good.
Okay, favorite electronic artists.
Skrillex, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matoma.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Coconut Matoma.
Musical artists we might be surprised to see on your personal playlists.
I was listening to a country artist recently that I can't. I like Mariah Carey. I just was starting to throw back some old Mariah Carey. Can't be mad at that.
Yeah.
Who do you like to listen to? That we might be surprised.
I like dark music. I like Bon Iver a lot. It's like really soft and the complete opposite of what I make.
Embarrassing moment.
My pants once. In my mom's car.
Okay, yours. Well, that lady with the hair would have liked that.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm just trying to think of the last time I my pants because that was probably pretty bad.
Why don't you try it on stage? Call the act the Sophisticates.
Yeah.
Your most cherished memory. So young, you got cherished memories already.
Yeah. I feel like it's like a deep thing, but it's like there's never a moment. It's like all these small things. Like when Roses like reached double platinum, it wasn't the fact that it reached double platinum. It was like this crazy journey of like these little moments that like seeing it get to there. So it's hard to pick just one.
Are you surprised that you're known all over the world?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but you don't process it when you go there because you're just part of the hustle.
moment.
Yeah.
Next, is electronic music just for young people? And we wrap things up with some fan questions for the guys from social media. Don't click away. We're back with the red-hot group, the Chainsmokers. Do you argue a lot? Do you two get along, or?
We get along really well. We fight once a year, physically.
Once a year. You have
Yeah.
the date you fight?
No, it just happens. Like everything culminates into one.
Now, with traveling and jumping all around, do you have time for girlfriends?
Yeah, we both have girlfriends. Yeah.
And where do they live?
At our homes, right in LA. Right.
Oh, you live together. Do they travel with you?
Sometimes.
They pick the good ones. Coachella.
Yeah.
Is electronic music young persons only, young people only?
You know, it started that way, but how much it's crossed over into the mainstream, I think it's for everybody at this point. We have a lot of like fans, and I'm surprised how old they are.
I also understand that there's a party drug culture associated with the music. People often take Molly or ecstasy when they go to raves or electronic shows. Is that fair?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's for any show.
show?
Yeah, I think that goes for any event almost. Period, except for maybe like sports. But like that exists regardless. I'm sure that dance music has more of a stigma around it because the way that like Hollywood portrays it and everything. But
Does it concern you, or is it?
yeah, I mean, you never want to see anyone get hurt,
Right.
but I don't think like I don't worry about it when we play our shows and stuff. I think like
don't?
yeah, I think you know what I mean. Those are like personal decisions people make. We certainly don't like encourage it,
Yeah.
but.
We have questions from social media. Kelby May on LK Now blog. Any plans to stay in the remix game like earlier in the group's career, or will you guys be focused exclusively on producing original music?
Right now we're focused exclusively on making original music.
Yeah, I always feel bad. We always get asked every like day to do a remix, but
Yeah.
just no.
Do you ever miss doing remix?
No. Because
I
you
like
have to
the
work
original.
with someone else's idea, and I think we've grown out of that.
At Cash Hamilton on the Larry King Now blog, how did the Chainsmokers learn to produce music, and where should other inspired artists start?
We started on YouTube. We just went on YouTube and watched like as many tutorials as possible about how to make all these sounds that we were hearing like from this genre. And I think that's a good way to start because it's really difficult to do it that way, and it requires a lot of like self-motivation. And if you don't have that skill, you won't go far anywhere. So
Yeah. We've been doing also these tutorials on like different aspects of like the songs we've been discussing, but also like I think the next one's going to be like the essentials to start.
Yeah.
So people can go to our YouTube channel and get a good idea of how to do that.
At the Through the Ocean on Twitter, when will they release We Ain't Never Getting Old?
oh my God, every other tweet we're getting these days is about that.
And what is that?
It's a song that we wrote, produced, and I sing on.
And you don't release it?
It's coming, but we have to. It's not coming yet.
We performed it for the first time at Coachella, and people seem to be really into it, which is awesome news. And we can't wait to release it, but you know we got to give everything a little bit of time.
That's it. Space them out.
Yeah, exactly.
100 Music on the Larry King Now blog. How do you get over writer's block?
Listen to something from a completely different genre that will kind of take your mind in a musical place that's just different than probably where you're at that time.
Adriana on the Larry King Now blog. When can we expect the new song you guys played at Coachella to be released? That's the song?
Yeah,
That's
that's
the
the
same
song.
song.
What's the name of that song again?
It's called Closer.
What?
Closer.
No, Closer. They didn't say that.
No, they don't know the name.
They don't know what the name is.
We ain't never getting older.
That's just the main lyric in it, so that's what everyone.
But the name of the song is Closer.
Yeah.
Okay. Stephanie4 on Twitter. Biggest highlight of the career so far?
Coachella, Lollapalooza 2015, or Webster Hall way back in the day when we were first getting started.
Michelle on the Larry King Now blog. How easy is it to find an artist to collaborate with on a song, or where do you usually get your inspiration for songs?
I mean, it's super easy if you don't care who they are. But you know, we're very particular about who we work with and finding like new, inspiring, and authentic artists. We listen to a ton of music, like we've been saying, from like all different genres, and you just reach out and ask them if they're interested. So you know, you'll get a lot of no's, and a lot of bad songs. But
You like to find new people?
It's worked out for us pretty well so far, but going forward, we're going to work with some more established acts and see how that goes. We just look for people that are authentic and talented. It doesn't matter how big or small they are.
When you were very young, who was the first person who was a musical inspiration for you?
Oh man, I loved Billy Joel growing up, I guess.
Billy Joel?
Yeah.
James Taylor.
James Taylor. See, these are music you would never sing their songs, right?
No.
I could.
Yeah.
I would get out there and do Piano Man. Or
Okay, we have been letting many of our guests ask me a question. Do you have one?
Yeah. Is there some competition between other iconic anchors?
I never regarded it as such. I just started doing my own thing. I've been doing it, next year will be 60 years. 59 years.
Crazy.
Older than both of you combined, right?
Yeah.
I started in 1957. What year were you born?
85.
89.
Wow.
I have ties older than both of you. And no, I never. Do you regard competitively? Do you look at other groups?
Yes.
You do?
Uh-huh.
But I think you have to keep
But
the
I think
mentality.
and what he said was key was you have to just do your thing.
I just do I never think about other. Who's the most competitive? Who's the group that you regard the most competitive in your genre? Who's number one in your field?
I think Calvin Harris, Diplo, and Skrillex are the top of our genre right now. But we're kind of going in a different direction than dance music, so I'd say from the DJ world, they're the top three.
Great pleasure meeting.
Great to meet you.
Continued good luck, man.
Thanks so much.
Drew and Alex. I want to thank them. The Chainsmokers, the new single, Don't Let Me Down. Visit their website to see if they're coming to a city near you. And remember, you can find me on Twitter at Kingstings. And if you're the girl who shaved her head, never mind. I'll see you next time.